I am going to be talking about the history of Clark Atlanta University. And I know on surface level that sounds boring, like I'm just going to be like, in so and so year this happened. No, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to explain the significance of it for this school. I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh, this happened on this year. No, I want to let you guys know, like, this happened on this year, and I want to tell you why it happened on this year, and I want to tell you the significance that it has because of it happening, So we're going to start off, 1865. That sounds so long ago, because it is. It kind of is. The Reverend Frederick Ayres, an agent of the American Missionary Association, arrives in Atlanta to begin formal education among newly freed African Americans. Ayres takes over the schoolwork being conducted by Freedman James Tate and Grandison B. Daniels. This is kind of the stepping stone to identifying what Clark Atlanta University is. It didn't start off as just Clark Atlanta University. It started off as just Atlanta University and Clark College. But we'll get into that later. Edmund Asa Ware is appointed superintendent of the schools for the AMA and begins laying the foundation for Atlanta University. So Clark College didn't really come up until a long while. So you're going to hear a lot about Atlanta University and Clark College, and later on in the school's legacy, that's when they start, combining. In 1869, the first building, North Hall, is constructed for Atlanta University on the site called Diamond Hill, one of the highest elevations of the city of Atlanta. So the first ever building was built in 1869 for Atlanta University, which is going to be known as one of the most iconic buildings on campus. Also in 1869, the Reverend W.D. Hammond becomes the first president of Clark Atlanta. That is huge, because now it's like a legitimate, school here. We have a president, we have buildings being built for this college. We have charters being given for this college. It's becoming legit, In 1870, the embryo of a library is initiated with 300 books from Reverend Giles of Boston and $7,000 from R.R. Graves in Brooklyn. And by 1883, there's about 6,000 books in this library. So not only do we have this iconic building from years ago, but we also have this library that will be also iconic, In April 1877, Clark University receives a charter on March 19th of that year, granting the right and privilege of awarding degrees. This is obviously very significant because not only is this school growing, it's also getting more and more credible. And that's one of the main things as a school and as a educational institution. You want to be credible, and you want your students to learn, and you want your students to be awarded degrees for learning, So this is huge. This is a huge moment for Clark University and for Atlanta schools, right? A 4-year college course in 1879 is initiated at Clark. The academic works now include grammar courses, college preparatory courses, and the industrial courses. So not only do we have the degrees that are being awarded, but we also have courses that you could get to get your degree. Now, this is huge because now we have classes, and now we have things to do. Now we have assignments that students can do in order to get their degree, instead of just learning whatever. They can learn what they want to learn and focus on the thing that they're going to do in life. Okay? In 1883, the first Bachelor of Arts degree is conferred upon Walter H. Nelson at Clark University. And Gammon Hall is completed to house the School of Theology at Clark. This is huge because the first ever bachelor's degree is conferred upon this man. And it's huge. It shows that, Clark University is legit. They are a credible school, and the Gammon Hall is, also iconic for students to be housed in. And this is a big moment for Clark. This is a big moment for the university because, they're credible now and they have the things that they need to be a credible school. And not only do they start there, but they just build on top of that. Moving on, President Edmund Asa Ware of Atlanta University dies in Atlanta on September 25th. It's a very sad moment because they were one of the first to be appointed as superintendent for the AMA. This is a very sad moment for Atlanta, but they keep it moving and they keep the school going by electing Edward O. Thayer as president of Clark University on June 9th of 1881, and he is appointed as president in 1889. In 1891, Clark University develops 4 areas of collegiate courses: classical, scientific, literature, and art, and mechanical. Again, getting into the more specifics of classes and courses and things that you can focus on to get where you need to go in life and what you want to do for students, In 1892, Atlanta University adopts crimson and gray as its official colors. Huge thing, because they're starting to get into sports now and they're starting to get into the whole school spirit thing, which is very important, may I add. It's very, very important as a school and as an institution. In 1893, a year later, football is introduced at Atlanta University, which, along with Tuskegee, plays the first intercollegiate game in the South by black colleges on New Year's Day of 1897. Atlanta University beat Tuskegee 10-0. The golden era of Atlanta University in football was confined to 2 periods, 1897 to 1903 and 1922 to 1928, the latter under the skilled coaching of Walter H. Chief Aiken. So this is big for Clark Atlanta, or this is big for Atlanta University, actually. It's not Clark Atlanta yet. But this is huge. They start their own football team and they're pretty good at it, They got credibility in their courses, they got credibility in their degrees, they got credibility of their campus and also in their sports. So it's like I said, they're creating a foundation and they're just building on top of it as time goes on. Moving on into the 1900s, William D. Thomas College Class of 1895 earns the master's degree. This represented Atlanta University's early efforts at graduate education prior to 1929. So, again, this is huge because William D. Thomas, actually, College Class of 1895, earns the master's degree. And this just seals their credibility more as an institution and as a school and as a university. The first football team is organized at Clark University. Also in 1901. Jumping forward to 1906, the music department of Atlanta University begins its annual music series. A chorus of 200 voices presented the sacred cantata, The Daughter of Jairus. This is, once again, a very It's a staple moment for, not only music majors, but also the entire school, All right, jumping forward, 1916, basketball begins at Atlanta University. The first official game was with Morehouse in 1918. Moving forward in 1923, Dr. Myron W. Adams, the first president to possess an earned doctorate degree, was inaugurated as Atlanta University's fourth president on May 29, 1923, following the resignation of President Edward Twitchell Ware. Okay? Again, this is huge because this is the first person to possess an earned doctorate degree. Again, just seals their credibility more, and it just makes this school even more credible. In 1924, the trustees of Atlanta University authorized as an experiment a summer school session. So they start summer school, basically. Again, this is a very staple moment for Clark Atlanta, just solidifying their place in Atlanta and in the school system, period. In 1925, a year later, Samuel P. Taylor accepts the position as athletic coach and director, beginning a winning period in football, basketball, and baseball at Clark University. And Clark University adopts the Panther as its mascot for athletic teams. So this is huge for sports, and this is also huge for the school in general, but mostly for sports. Not only do they adopt the Panther as their mascot, but they also get a well-renowned coach and director, Samuel P. Taylor, as their coach and director. Moving on. In 1926, Dr. James P. Brawley is named Dean of Clark University. That's kind of why the street is named after him. You'll see like a street that's named after him, and a building, and like a housing building that's named after him, and all that stuff. Dr. Matthew Simpson Davidge is elected president of the University of Clark University. He is the second African American president in the institution's 55-year history. So, again, this is huge. He is the second African American, not the first, but the second. Continuing this lineage of African American excellence, of Black excellence in Atlanta. This is huge for the institution because we have another president, but not only that, we have another Black president, which is great for this HBCU. Moving on. In 1931, Hale Woodruff joins the faculty of Atlanta University as art instructor at the Laboratory High School. Woodruff brought national recognition to the university through his paintings, which were exhibited as great museums throughout the country. So this is huge because now we have art in our schools, we have expression, we have the freedom of expression in our schools. Not saying that we didn't have that, but now that we do, now we have the credibility to back it up. It's huge. People are looking at this school, people are watching this school, and people are considering going to this school now at a national level. So moving on, Greek letter fraternities and sororities are recognized on campus of Clark University. This also happened in 1931. 1932, the formal dedication of Trevor Arnott Library on April 30th at Atlanta University marks the first time that the presidents and faculties of the 6 Black institutions participated as a body in any activity. This is huge because it's a first. Every first is a staple moment in any sort of lifespan for anything. So this is huge. another first in 1933. For the first time, the resources of Atlanta University, Clark University, Morehouse College, Spelman College, Morris Brown College, and Gammon Theological Seminary are pooled for summer school, providing a program for summer study unequaled in the South. So, again, another first and another staple moment for Atlanta. Not only Atlanta University, but the AUC, Atlanta University Center. So, moving forward, the homecoming tradition in 1933 also begins at Clark University and is built around a homecoming football game and highlighted by a homecoming queen and homecoming parade. So this is again another staple moment. They have just initiated homecoming, something that is very renowned and very popular amongst HBCUs, especially Atlanta HBCUs. In 1934, the Atlanta University Summer Theater is established, becoming the first of its type in Atlanta. Again, another first. They're just rolling in with these first moments. Now, this speaks to me specifically because I am a theater major, and the fact that it started so long ago, and yet here we are still kicking it, still pushing it, still doing what we need to do to be who we are in this major, be who I am in this major. It's crazy to see how long ago it was and how it's still a thing now and how it's still very much prominent now in this year. Moving on, in 1940, Phylon, the Atlanta University Review of Race and Culture, a quarterly journal edited by W.E.B. Du Bois, made its initial appearance. The journal occupied a unique position in its field as the only scholarly journal in America whose major concerns were race and culture. And Clark University amended its charter, changing its name to Clark College on March 12th of 1940. So, again, two staple moments. Instead of it being Clark University, it's now Clark College. And a year later, it moves to a new campus adjacent to Atlanta University in September of 1941. The school's library also opens in 1941. In 1942, Dr. James P. Proutley is inaugurated as the 17th president of Clark College on April 10th. And in 1942, Atlanta University inaugurates an annual national art exhibition, probably the first such effort by a historically black institution. So again, two staple moments for Clark College and Atlanta University. One being the president of Clark College and one being the National Art Exhibition for Atlanta University. 2 years later, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois retires on June 30th of 1944. The school education at Atlanta University officially opens on September 19th, 1944. So all of this effort to make Clark College and Atlanta University credible is put to the test as Atlanta University is open. Atlanta University officially opens. Moving on, the Dean Sage Hall in 1952, now Sage Bacote, is constructed. So that's another staple moment for Atlanta University, I believe. Yep. In 1988, a lot of things happened in 1988. A joint committee from Atlanta University and Clark College delivers its reports charting a bold new future, proposing the consolidation of the two institutions. The boards of Atlanta University and Clark College made the historic decision to consolidate the two institutions, creating the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. This moment right here is literally why Clark Atlanta is what it is now, because of the fact that they joined forces and they joined hands and made not only one of the most respected schools in Atlanta, but one of the most profound schools in Atlanta, creating Clark Atlanta University. The state of Georgia grants a charter to Clark Atlanta University. I'll find a way to make one, and culture for service are the mottos and the mottos for their respective colleges, Atlanta University and Clark College, they become their dual mottos of CAU. So not only is I'll find a way to make one a motto of CAU, but also culture for service is also another motto for CAU. The Panther is retained as a CAU mascot. The Crimson and Gray of Atlanta University and the Cardinal and Black from Clark College are merged to form the tricolors of red, black, and gray for CAU. So again, 1988 is a big year for Clark Atlanta University because they joined forces, they retained their mascot, and they merged their colors. They basically merge everything together. So, in 1990, renovations began on where Bumstead Halls and ground is broken for Beckwith Hall, a 225-bed graduate residence hall. CAU hosts a 30th reunion celebration in honor of Atlanta University Center, the AUC alumni who contributed to the civil rights movement. Again, a very celebratory year because of what happened 2 years ago on 1988. African National Congress President Nelson R. Mandela receives an honorary degree in a special AUC convocation in his honor on June 27th during his 1990 Freedom Tour. CAU receives $3.3 million. Receives a $3.3 million U.S. Department of Health and Human Services grant to administer the Atlanta Head Start program, and the Alumni Association of Atlanta University and Clark College consolidate to form the Clark Atlanta University Alumni Association. So literally everything is merging. Everything is coming together. And people are celebrating, as they should, because this is a big moment. This is a big moment for CAU. In 1992, Money Magazine ranks CAU as one of the top 10 college buys among historically black colleges and universities. Big moment for Clark Atlanta. It puts their name out there. It makes them popular. Not only that, but it gives them a whole lot of credibility than they already had. Moving forward, in 1993, the CAU honors African National Congress. President Nelson Mandela, at a special convocation on July 11th, is presented in an academic hood from Clark Atlanta in commemoration of the 40 honorary doctorates bestowed upon him by CAU and other American colleges and universities. So big moment. Nelson Mandela, we know him, we love him. That's a big moment for Clark Atlanta University. WCLK radio station, as the official jazz voice of the city, celebrates its 20th anniversary on 1994. The School of Education celebrates its 50th anniversary. A lot of anniversaries coming up. In 1995, the School of Social Work celebrates its 75th anniversary. 1996, the CAU dedicates 6 new facilities: residential department, University Gatehouse, Olympic Promenade, Olympic Field Hockey Stadium, CAU Art Galleries, and the Student Center. So things that people know about of Clark Atlanta University, like the Student Center, the Promenade, the art galleries that are in the library, this stuff was inducted in 1996, the things that are well known in the campus. Moving on, All right. So in 2002, we have Dr. Walter D. Bronnax is elected the second president of Clark Atlanta University. He is inaugurated on March 21st, 2003. That is great news, because then we have presidencies and we have people that can serve our schools and our institution. Moving on. In 2008, Dr. Carlton E. Brown is elected the third president of Clark Atlanta University on August 1st, 2008. And in 2009, Clark Atlanta celebrates the 20th anniversary of the consulate of the... Hold on, let me read that again. Clark Atlanta celebrates the 20th anniversary of the consolidation of Atlanta University and Clark College with the anniversary theme of achieving greatness, honoring our history, and preparing for the future. This was in 2009, so it's not that long ago. So, yeah. Moving on to 2019, the most recent year of documentation. Dr. George T. French Jr. named the fifth president of Clark Atlanta University. Dr. French will assume the position on September 1st, 2019. Dr. French is a graduate of the University of Louisville, where he majored in political science with an emphasis in policy analysis. He holds a Juris Doctorate from the Miles Law School and a PhD in higher education from Jackson State University in Mississippi. So, credible guy, and he is our fifth president of Clark Atlanta University. And leading up to this moment now, we're having a lot of big things happening, like getting vaccinated, and our homecoming is coming back, I believe, next school year, and I'm very excited for that. But looking back at all of this history and all of the things that happened throughout, because I didn't even get into specifics, I just got into like the most staple moments. Getting into the history of this school just made me grow more fond of this school, because it has such a renowned, and it has such a positive outlook on Atlanta, and it has such a positive outlook on the school, This just made me admire this school a lot more, and admire this school's, work ethic and its perseverance and its determination a lot more. So I believe this is the end of the podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. I wish I could talk forever, but if I did, I would talk y'all ears off. So we are going to end it here. As a student who is fond of Clark Atlanta University, I would recommend you go here, because there's so much history, there's so much art, there's so much love, there's so much of everything that you could imagine here. Not only do you get to meet new people, but you get to experience what an HBCU is like, and one of the oldest, might I add. You get to experience what it's like to be at an HBCU and find other people who are, who are as passionate as you are, And you get to experience Black excellence in the flesh. So I would 100% recommend coming here. People who are accepted here, welcome to this school. You're going to like it here. You're going to love it here. There's a lot of stuff for you to do, a lot of stuff for you to experience, all that stuff. So I'm going to end this on a positive note with the motto, I'll find a way or make one.